How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Amatsutsumi. We are still pretty much stuck in this kotodama hell. I think that is the best way to describe it, where we can perceive nobody else other than Mana. And I'm not gonna lie, I was getting a little frustrated with her in the last episode. Like, from the beginning, I was like, okay, you know, Makoto really did mess up. He did make a pretty bad mistake, but I think Mana is expecting a little bit too much and to an unfair degree. I think Makoto should have been a little bit more faithful and upfront with his feelings, because it wouldn't have caused this commotion, but the damage is done. I do think that he was absolutely in the wrong, but I don't think this is the right way to go about it, for a multitude of reasons. But let us see what happens now. It is a new day, and I think we were sleeping with her, and we are awaking, or we have awoken already. We went back to sleep. We are awakening, or we are waking up again here. It says it's a little past noon when Mana finally wakes up. So yeah, we really slept in today. She stirs and then slowly opens her eyes. Her face is no less pale than yesterday, and she doesn't look well rested at all. It's clear that she isn't refreshed from her long sleep. It reminds me of how Azuki-san looked a few weeks ago, which worries me. Good morning, Mana. She lets out a small yawn and rubs her eyes, and then instead of getting up, she rolls onto her side and wraps me in a hug. Mana? Nope. I nod and pat her on the back a few times. She looks surprised to see my arms encircling her body. That's right, you look cold, so I thought I could help by warming you up. She smiles happily and kisses me on the cheek. It's a little past lunchtime, I think. Mana looks out the window, squinting in the sunlight. I guess you're right. Good afternoon. I correct my earlier greeting, and Mana stifles a burst of laughter.
Makoto?
How are you feeling? Despite what she says, though, she looks pretty bad. If you're not feeling well, you can just say so. There's no need to hold it in. She probably thinks that she sounds confident and reassuring, but her voice is wavering slightly. I can see the signs since I've gone through this myself. She's pushing herself. And what's worse, her body isn't as strong as mine, while her kotodama is far stronger. It's no surprise that maintaining a strong kotodama is taking a much heavier toll on her than it did on me. She slowly sits up in bed. Just from looking at her movements, I can tell how sluggish she must feel. You shouldn't push yourself. We should stay in the house. She's probably right. And I don't want her to use any more kotodama if possible. What if I go by myself again and... She shuts me down immediately. I think the right term to use here is selfishness. I think she wants things to be her way and what she believes to be the right way, not the way that Makoto wants to go in terms of exploration and change, whether it be for the better or for worse. Her voice is thin as she buries her face in my chest. While I stroke her hair, I try to protest, but the snow falling around you is clearly growing. She tilts her head upwards and watches the snowflakes as they fall. It means you're weakened, doesn't it? She admits it reluctantly. then all the more reason you should cancel your kotodama soon. You need to save your strength to recover, otherwise... I have a bad feeling about what could happen otherwise.
ダメ。
She slowly gets out of bed and stands up.
せっかく誠が昔のように優しくなってくれたところなのに。
We were nice to you. You don't need that kotodama. Even without it, I'd
そ
still...
う信じたいわ。
She looks at me sadly and shakes her head.
私は誠を傷つけたくない。誠に幸せであってほしい。だけど、それ以上にあなたを失うわけにはいかないの。絶対に。
Her face suddenly tightens into a grimace as she presses her temples. She doubles over in pain and then totters a few steps forward. Mana. I jump out of bed and support her body to stop her from falling down. Her breathing is ragged as sweat beads on her forehead. This is bad, you need to lie down.
くどいわよ、誠。私が行くと言ったら、行くの。私は、苦しくないわ。
Forcibly shutting off the pain with her kotodama, she shakes off my grip on her arms.
もう、大丈夫。
Oh no, you ain't. You're obviously straining yourself.
平気よ。自分にかけるくらいなら。
I don't know if it's just me, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But the increase in these little snow particles has greatly made the game feel a little bit more sluggish. Especially since the snowflakes look like they're falling at 15 frames per second. It kind of just grabs my attention, and not in a good way. Her face is as white as a ghost, but her expression is as calm and collected as ever. What a tremendous mismatch. She turns her back to me.
着替えてくるわ。一緒に買い物に行くわよ。
Mana, this isn't good. At this point, it's clear that nothing I do will convince her to stop this. She'll have to come to the right conclusion on her own. Everything I've learned about her over the years confirms this.
いいわね。
Yeah, I'll go change too.
お願い。じゃあ、また後で。
So saying, she trudges off to her room. Mana probably doesn't realize just how dire her condition really is. But that said, I still have no way of forcing her to cancel her kotodama. All I can do now is stay by her side and watch for any sudden changes in her symptoms. And thankfully, that fits with what she wants me to do, which is stay by her side. I don't like this, guys. I don't like this. This has gone too far, I feel. Just a wee bit. Despite what she said, Mana had to stop to rest several times along the way, so our shopping trip took quite a long time. It was bizarre to link arms with Mana and walk around the apparently abandoned streets. I couldn't help but wonder what would happen if we kept walking all the way to school. Mana didn't have much of an appetite, so after barely eating any of what we bought, she went back to her room to sleep some more. I thought I'd go and sit with her while she slept, but she told me to keep out of her room, or keep out of the room. Apparently, while we were out shopping, she caught a glance of her own face in a mirror and realized how exhausted she looked. And now she said that she didn't want me to see her exhausted face while she was asleep. Man, were we seeing the, we were seeing this while we were away from her. I can't believe I kind of forgot that, but yeah, just the overabundance of it, I think, is what's really standing out to me. I really am worried. There is an increase, right? Like, there's got to be an increase of this. Her lack of appetite is probably just because she's started to lose her sense of taste, like I did. If she hadn't been suppressing the pain with her kotodama, she'd probably be too nauseated to keep any food down anyway. She is in dire straits now. I'm sure she's close to her limit. School is already over. Looking at the clock, I see that it's around the time that those students who don't have after-school club activities start walking home. I wonder what my classmates are thinking about me these days. Kokoto believes correctly that Mana hasn't been feeling well, but she's been commanded not to worry too much about my disappearance. If people like Kyoko or Hoturu talk to her, wouldn't they find it strange that she seems so unconcerned about me? I look at my school bag lying untouched on my desk and narrow my eyes. In the worst case, I may end up leaving this town without ever seeing any of them again. I accepted that when I decided to trust Mana and go along with her wishes, but it doesn't make me feel any less sad about it. All this just makes me realize yet again that the Oribe household and my school are both very important places to me. Time to say my goodbyes, huh? When I first came here, I was driven only by my curiosity and led only by the voice of my mother saying, or so I thought, "You must leave." I had barely thought through anything. I hadn't planned or anticipated anything concrete, like how long I was going to stay here, for example. But once I started going to school, I came to hope that I could stay here until graduation. And now, leaving aside the situation with Mana, I've started to want to stay here for as long as I can. I kept thinking I wanted to stay a little longer, and then a little longer than that. And before I knew it, I started wanting to stay here indefinitely. And I can see how it might seem childish, but that's just how I feel. It'll be sad when I have to leave. Then I laugh at my own hypocrisy. When I decided to save Azuki-san's life, I told myself I was ready to die. I told myself I was ready to say goodbye to this town and all the people in it. And yet, here I am, still feeling reluctant to let go. There's no way that Azuki-san was more important to me than Mana is to me now. So the only explanation is that in the weeks since Azuki-san's recovery, I've become that much more attached to everything and everyone here. In that sense, Mana's concern about me is well-founded. I really am infatuated with the outside world. But Mana was right when she said that she and I will never really belong to this town. And there's no way I'll sacrifice her just for a chance to stay here. So when she wakes up, I'll sit her down and have a talk with her. I'll tell her my decision before it's too late for her. I'll tell her that if she cancels her kotodama, I will go back to the village with her. That I am unhappy with. Suddenly I hear a small sound and my bedroom door opens. At first I thought Mana had woken up, but there's nobody behind the door. No, wait. I can very faintly see the vaguest outline of a human figure. Who is it, Kokoro? Oh.
いやー、誠さん。いくらなんでも、ホタルとココロンを間違えるのはないんじゃないかな。
You know, I had a feeling that Hoturu would eventually pop up because she is the strange one. She doesn't really abide by the laws of kotodama.
一応設定上はお兄さんなわけなんですし、しっかりしてくださいよ。
What? The voice is very muffled, so I can barely hear it, but I can make out the words. Hoturu, is that you? I look in the direction of the voice and concentrate hard.
はい、間違いなく確実に誠さんの可愛い後輩のホタルですよ。
What on earth? It seems I'm not hallucinating. Hoturu really is standing there.
もしかしなくても、誠さん、ホタルのことが見えてなかったりします？
She's already figured out what's going on. I always knew that she was a smart one. Yeah, that's right. Also, I can only hear your voice very faintly. Could you come a little closer so I can hear you better?
いいですけど、そういうふりをしてホタルをからかってるんだったら怒りますからね。
That is understandable. It's not. Just give me a minute to explain. And explain we will. Oh, I guess we can. Yeah, we can see her. We're back to back, aren't we? I think that's what's going on here. We're sitting back to. Yeah, there we go. Since she said it wouldn't do for us to be face to face, I can feel the weight of her body leaning against me.
さて、それでは詳しいお話を聞かせていただきましょうか。もうこの際。観念して、ブワーっと景気よく、洗いざらい白状しちまうのがおすすめですよ。
As usual, there's something comically self-important about her tone. Before I know it, I'm breaking into a smile. Sure, but first, why are you here, Hoturu?
ココロンの様子がちょっと変だったから気になったんです。マナちゃんが体調崩してしばらくお休み、誠さんもって言うから。あら、それは大変、大丈夫なのって聞くと、大丈夫、気にしないでって。
And that was weird to you? I can see how Mana's kotodama shaped Kokoto's answer, but in the end, it didn't seem like a very abnormal thing to say.
変ですよ。いつものココロンだったら、こうです。そうなの。大したことはないみたいなんだけど、やっぱり心配でって。
She is a worrywart. Ah, I see. Hotaru's impression of Kokoto sounds spot on.
そこで、むむっと思ったホタルは、ちょっと踏み込んで、具合はどんな感じ？病院には行ったの？とか聞いてみたわけです。するとまあ、やっぱり同じように、大丈夫、気にしないで。帰ってくる始末。
Yeah, that is definitely not a characteristic.
はは、こ
That
れ
is not
は
her character
と
there.
ピリッときましたよ。また、言霊だなって。それでまあ、何かトラブルでも起こったのかもしれないと思って、こっそり様子を見に忍び込ませていただきましたと。何事もなかったら、可愛く笑ってごめんなさいするつもりで。もちろんマナちゃんとお取り込み中だったら、無言で回れ右して帰りましたよ。
I'm impressed. She really is sharp-witted. Man, I'm gonna be so real with you guys. Like, I'm kind of just like clenching my fists, gritting my teeth, whatever, and just trying to get through everything that this visual novel has to throw at my way. The stories, the routes, everything. Just so we can get to Hotaru's stuff. I am so fucking excited for Hotaru's stuff. I thank my stars yet again that she's on my side. If she had been my enemy, I'm sure Mana and I would long since have been driven out of town.
で、何があったんですか？ホタルが見えないこととも関係あるんでしょうか？
Yes, it does. I summarize what's been happening as best as I can, and so Mana's kotodama is making it impossible for me to perceive anyone except her. So obviously I couldn't go to school.
なるほど。そういうことでしたか。
But I still have no idea why I can perceive you. My first thought was that Mana's kotodama might be starting to fade, but I'm still unable to use my own kotodama or apologize to her for anything. So those other kotodamas are still in full effect. In which case, there's no reason the kotodama that blocks out the perception of other people wouldn't be fully active too. So the only thing I can think of is that it must have something to do with how kotodamas don't work on Hoturu specifically, excuse me.
不思議ですね。だって、その認識できないっていう言霊は、ホタルにかけたんじゃなくて、誠さんにかけられたものでしょ？
Hoturu seems just as puzzled as I am. Exactly.
なのに、どうして誠さんがホタルのこと見えちゃうんでしょう？謎ですね。
I don't understand it either. The thing is, I can't see or hear her completely clearly. That fact must be the key to explaining this, but I don't have time to investigate that right now.
でも、今の話を聞く限り、結構お手上げっぽくないですか？
Pretty much. I can't use my kotodama, so I can't force Mana to do anything.
ホタルにもできませんよ。
I wasn't planning to. Mana and I can't make Hoturu do what we want with our kotodamas, so that does make her an obstacle to us sometimes. But that doesn't mean that Hoturu is able to make Mana or me do what she wants either.
まあ、そうなると、やっぱり地道にマナちゃんを説得するしかないってことですよね。
Yeah.
そもそも、どうしてこんなややこしいことになってるんです？マナちゃんを怒らせるようなことをしたんですか？誠さん。
I can't bring myself to say that it was because I slept with Kokoro, but considering Hotaru's sharp intuition, she might have already guessed the truth. Yeah, I didn't think it would bother her so much though.
ああ、 すごく誠さんらしいです。それ。
Really?
要するに女心をさらっと踏みにじってしまった。違いま
Yeah,
すか？
that is pretty much it. I think that's right. She's hit the nail on the head as usual. If only I had talked to Hoturu more over the past few days, maybe all of this could have been avoided.
やっぱり。で、謝りはしたんですか？マナちゃんに。
She said that she didn't want to hear mere words, so she used her kotodama to forbid me from saying I'm sorry.
マナちゃんも、だいぶこじらせてますね。まあ、でも、それもいかにもマナちゃんらしい気がしますけど。
She chuckles wryly.
それで、お怒りは解けそうなんですか？誠さんの手応え的には。
I don't know. She says that she'll cancel her kotodama once I properly reassure her.
それはちょっと、時間がかかりそうですね。
Yeah, and I feel like there's going to be a very unfortunate point where we won't be able to reassure her ever again. And we might be in this kotodama for maybe ever? Yeah, but we don't have that much time left. Maintaining such a strong kotodama on me is taking a huge toll on Mana's body. I'm sure that she's almost at the breaking point. At this rate, it's the worst case, or in the worst case, she will die.
Huh?
I can't see her face behind me, but she sounds shocked beyond belief, excuse me. Maybe it's because of how calmly I'm speaking?
ちょっと、誠さん、何言ってるんですか？この後に及んで、冗談？
It's not a joke. Mana really might die the way things are going.
待ってください。言霊って、ほとんどリスクなしで使えるとか、そんな話を聞いたような。
Oh wait, has she not been like grasping to like what we've been through like in the very beginning of the visual novel? And like the shit with Kyoko? I did because I always thought that was the case. I looked down at my hands. I always thought that my kotodama power was just like another body part, like my arms or legs. No, even now I still feel that way. But a little while ago, Mana told me the truth. A kotodama is words imbued with a part of your soul. To speak a kotodama is to share your life force with another person. Hoturu is speechless. I can feel her body trembling against my back.
やっぱり、怖い力。
Her voice is almost a whisper. I've actually been down the same path that Mana's going down now. To save Azuki-san, I had to use the strongest kotodama I ever used. She holds her breath. She's smart enough to guess what I must have done. That day, I physically felt how speaking a kotodama drains your life force.
あれ、でも、誠さんはちゃんと生きてますよね。どうして？
It's a good question. As Mana tells it, it's because I'm just too untalented, apparently.
それで、命を使い切るのを失敗したってことですか？
I think the actual case is that Mana actually shared a part of hers, but that hasn't been confirmed, and I'm still kind of confused on all that. We've kind of been left in the dark for almost the entirety of the visual novel, kind of, wondering, hey, how are we alive when we should have died before we even got the fucking opening? Probably yes.
よかった。誠さんが死ななくて。
She sighs, actually sounding relieved. But unlike me, Mana is incredibly talented. She's one of the most talented kotodama users in the history of our village. So her strongest kotodamas not only have much more powerful effects on others, but they also take a much heavier toll on her body.
才能があるんだから、コントロールもうまくできちゃうってことはないんですか？自分が死んでもいいから誠さんをつなぎ止めたいっていうのは、さすがにマナちゃんだってない気がしますけど。
Yeah, I wonder about that, Hoturu. I truly do.
だって自分が死んでしまったら意味がないじゃないですか。
That is true. She probably just thinks that she'll know where to stop, but I'm not so sure. The most obvious sign is how her snowfall is getting heavier. I can't help but take it as an ill omen. Also, maybe her greater skill has allowed her to shut off her pain more effectively than I was able to. That means it'll be harder for her to notice when her body is about to give out.
じゃあ、誠さん、どうするつもりですか？
I've realized that there's only one choice, unfortunately. I have to go back to the village with her.
それは、残念ですね。
She hesitates for a few moments before replying, and I can hear the sadness in her voice.
ホタルとしては、もっと、誠さんたちと、いろいろ遊びたかったんですけど。
Oh no, I fully agree. I feel the same way, and I think Mana does too. After experiencing the outside world, both Mana and I have changed. I bring to mind the faces of Kokoro, Azuki-san, Hoturu, Kyoko, Koichi, everyone at school. I never thought that we'd be able to make so many friends and have so much fun here, though our kotodama did help. I truly believe that leaving the village and coming here was the right choice.
でも、戻るんだ。
Yeah, honestly, I still don't feel ready to leave. There are things I still want to do here, but
それ、幸せなことだと思いますよ。
she sounds oddly envious.
もういい。こんなとこ嫌だ。出てってやる。そういう気持ちで終わるんじゃなくて、いい思い出のままのお別れなんですから。
Yeah, she's right.
それに誠さんは、里を出てきた時もそうだったんでしょ？完全に嫌気がさして飛び出したわけでもない。
She's right about that too. I'm surprised you could tell.
誠さんを見ていれば、だいたい想像つきますよ。
Am I really that transparent?
とにかく、それが誠さんの選択なら、ホタルは応援しますよ。何か、ホタルにお手伝いできること、ありますか？正直、あんまりないかなって自分でも思いますけど。
Thanks for asking anyway. I appreciate the thought. I really am happy that she wants to help me even now. There actually is one favor I'd like to ask you.
どうぞどうぞ。
After we've left, I'd like you to watch out for Kokoro and the others for me.
わかりました。
I think she would watch out for them even without my asking. Ideally, I should use my kotodama to make everyone forget about us completely. That would be the best way to properly clean up after ourselves, but
残念ながら、ホタルには言霊が聞きません。ごめんなさい。
she doesn't sound apologetic at all as she laughs to herself. Exactly. But honestly, I actually prefer it this way. I'm glad that it'll be impossible to totally erase the experiences that I've had here. That there'll be something left of me here. Later, maybe tonight, I'll talk to Mana and see if I can get her to cancel her kotodama so that I can perceive other people again. If she does, then I plan to spend tomorrow going around town and erasing as many people's memories of me as I can. But it is possible that I won't be able to finish that before I have to leave. Judging from my own experience, I don't think Mana will survive more than 2 or 3 days in this state.
なるほど。そこを、ホタルにフォローしてほしいと。
Exactly. Even if I do finish erasing everyone's memories, I might miss someone, or leave some kind of evidence of my presence here.
なんだか、誠さんの遺言を聞いているような気持ちになってきましたね。
Sorry to always ask so much of you, even at the very end.
いえいえ、どこまでやれるかわかりませんけど、受けたまわりました。
Thank you so much, really. Meeting you might have been the luckiest thing that happened to me since I left the village.
ひどいなあ、誠さん。
I'm surprised at her unexpected response. Huh?
これから会えなくなる相手に、そういうことをナチュラルに言っちゃうんだから。これがホタルじゃない普通の女の子だったら、こっちもお別れが余計に名残惜しくなっちゃうところですよ。
Ah, sorry.
いいんです。ホタルは普通の女の子じゃありませんから、ノープロブレムです。
The weight on my back disappears. She must have stood up.
とりあえず、いろいろ謎が解けてすっきりしました。ちょっと、心の様子を見てから帰ります。
Okay. I hope she's doing well.
さようなら、誠さん。
Goodbye, Hoturu. The hint of her presence quickly withdraws. She must have left the room and gone downstairs. Now she must be chatting with Azuki-san and Kokoro downstairs, but I can't hear any voices at all. It's more evidence that Mana's kotodama is working just as well as ever. I look at the clock. The sun will be setting soon, but Mana still hasn't woken up again. I expect that she'll be asleep for some time longer. When I was on the verge of death, I had slept for the better part of the day. Mana said that she didn't want me to see her tired face, but I still want to be by her side when she wakes up. That would also be a good opportunity to tell her my plans. Alright, I stand up and head for Mana's room. Personally, I'm not really happy with this move that we're doing here. Like, a part of me really does want to say, there's gotta be a different way to go about this, but I don't know, I mean, we don't want her to die necessarily. In the end, Mana didn't wake up until several hours after sundown. At this time, we've usually finished dinner and are taking our baths before going to bed. Good morning, Mana, though technically it's evening.
もうそんな時間なの。
She slowly sits up in bed and stretches. Her skin is still a sickly hue, but at least her expression looks more comfortable than before.
心はお風呂かしらね。
She looks around the room and mutters to herself. I guess it's not just that I can't see Kokoro. She isn't usually in the room.
どうして誠がここに？何かあったの？
I had something important to talk to you about when you woke up. She opens her eyes a little wider and looks closely at me.
大切な話ね。私の言霊のことかしら。
There's that too, but that's not all. I've come to an important decision and I need to discuss with you what will come next. She gasps softly.
わかったわ。でも、
She glances at the doorway.
この家だと心たちもいる。外、人のいないところへ行きましょう。
If Kokoro or Azuki-san saw her apparently talking to thin air, they might get concerned. And if that forced Mana to speak even more kotodamas to dispel those concerns, that would defeat the purpose of me trying to talk to her. You're right, but are you feeling well enough, Mana?
平気よ。眠ったおかげでかなりマシになったわ。
Okay. Either way, I think she'll cancel her kotodama once she hears what I have to say. I don't know, should I hold my breath? Or, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna roll with it. I feel like something's going to come up and she won't be okay with our plans here. That's my pessimistic side talking. And when that happens, I'm sure the burden on her body will suddenly lighten by orders of magnitude. She doesn't seem to be in immediate danger, so we should be fine for now. Where do you want to go?
どこでもいいわ。でも、そうね。
I mean, we could just go to Makoto's room. She slowly gets out of bed and takes her school uniform off its hanger on the wall.
せっかくだから、学園の中庭はどう？
The courtyard? That's a little too far away from my liking.
私学園で。この町で、あの場所が一番気に入ってるの。一度は夜の眺めを見てみたいって。ずっと思っていたのよ。
I like the scenery there too. Maybe she's right. It might be a good place to say our goodbyes to this town. A nice last memory of this place. Alright then. I'll go and change too. Even at this time of night, it's probably best we wear our uniforms when entering the school. Come to think of it, this might be the last time I ever wear a uniform.
5分後に、下で。
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about everything here. I don't know if anything good will come of this. I kinda doubt it. We've made it here without Mana getting tired or collapsing along the way. Apparently her long sleep really has done her some good. Of course, the kotodama must be continuing to sap her strength even now.
思った以上に、夜の眺めはいいわね。綺麗だわ。
Yeah. I stand next to her and look around. Illusory snow falls silently in the dark courtyard. The night breeze blows gently past, ruffling our hair. It really is a magical sense.
里にはないものよね。 この景色の雰囲気は。
No. There are many things in this town which we never had in the village. In fact, I'd even say that most things here are that way. And perhaps the most important one to me at least is this school and the environment it contains. I'm sure Mana feels the same way.
同じ年頃の子がこんなにたくさんいる場所があるなんて。
I knew about it from books, but experiencing it in person was totally different.
ええ、
She nods with a very peaceful look on her face. She's even smiling slightly. Mana, do you like this place?
好きよ。正直、最初はあまり興味がなかったけど、
She looks at me out of the corner of her eye.
おかしいわよね。誠と私をたぶらかしたところなんだから。憎たらしくてもいいくらいなのに。
Maybe so, but the fact that she doesn't show how much the positives outweigh the negatives for her.
私たち、初めからこの町に生まれていたら、どうなっていたのかしらね。
Me too. Sorry, I was getting a drink of water there. In a way, it's a meaningless question. We are only who we are because we were born and brought up in the village.
で、誠、大切な話というのを聞かせてちょうだい。
After a lull in our conversation, Mana turns to me and returns to our original topic.
大きな決心をした、と言ったわね。
Yes, I did. I look her straight in the eyes and nod. I have a request for you. I would like you to cancel the kotodama you used on me, here and now.
話って、それだけ？
Damn, bitch, can you let us finish? I shake my head. I've decided to return to the village with you, Mana. Her eyes widen as she holds her breath, waiting for me to continue. So please, Mana, cancel your kotodama. You might think it's still safe, that you can still handle it, but you're almost at your limit, and I can tell. If you wait too long, if the worst were to happen, I could never forgive myself. Right now, I can't imbue these words with my soul. All I can do is pray that she understands how I feel. All I can do is pray that she'll agree. All I can do is pray.
つまり、私の命が心配だから、仕方なく帰ろうと言っているの。私が好きだから、一緒にいたいからではないの。
Her expression hardens. It's the same thing. I don't want to lose you. You understand, don't you? We've both lost someone precious to us before, Nozomi. I press on. I want you to cancel your kotodama for my sake, but also for your own. If you do, then I'll go around erasing everyone's memory of us tomorrow. And once that's done, let's just go back to the village, together. I speak as earnestly as I can. If this doesn't get through to her, well, I have nothing left.
でも、
She's still hesitant. It's very rare for her to be this indecisive about anything. That must show how close I am to persuading her.
また里を出ていくのではないの。私を置いて。
I already left her once, it is true. I can't blame her for worrying about that. If you think so, you can just use your kotodama to stop me. You don't even have to wait until we get back to the village. You can put a kotodama on me right now. Of course, I'd prefer that she didn't use any more kotodamas in her current state. But if Mana using another kotodama is the only way I can reassure her, I would prefer to make that choice myself. If you want someone to accept something, you have to accept it yourself first. It's an astoundingly simple concept. Mana, you said that your snow curse was your bond to Nozomi, didn't you? I'll think of your kotodama as my bond to you, as we grow old together from now on. Go ahead. Say it. I hear her swallow softly.
誠、
She slowly collapses into my arms. As I hold her, I feel her body trembling.
一緒に里へ帰ろう。
Yeah, this is how it should be. From now on, I belong to her.
二度と私を置いて外へ行かないで。ずっとずっと。私だけを愛して。
Yeah, fake feelings, fuck yes! Or something like that. She hugs me weakly as she whispers the kotodama softly into my ear. It's clear that she's almost at her breaking point. Thank goodness I managed to convince her this time, or in time. We stay in each other's arms for some time, silently, as if soaking in each other's warmth. But something's wrong. I can feel it somewhere deep inside me.
Makoto? どうしたの?
Mana looks up at me, sensing my sudden realization. Could it be? No, it can't be. But this feeling, maybe it actually is? I won't. I test my hypothesis by speaking the words. I won't go back with you. Her eyes fly open and her body stiffens. I'm sure I have the same look of horror on my face as she does. Because I was right. Mana's kotodama isn't working.
嘘。どうして?
Damn, that face. Just the realization, the fact that it's just, her power's gone, straight up. She slips out of my arms, distraught, and staggers a few steps behind.
どうして私の言霊が?
I can't believe it either. I really can't. Never in my life has a kotodama of Mana's failed to work on me.
そんな、まさか、私、
A look of dismay spreads across her face as she presses both hands to her temples and groans in a low voice. Mana! As she turns and runs away from me, I try to reach out to grab her. But at that moment, I'm blinded by a bright flash of white. Hey, yo, now it's worse. This low frame rate snow is getting worse. What happened? It's freezing. The sub-zero air touching the back of my neck makes my whole body begin to shiver. The courtyard is filled with a raging blizzard. What on earth is this? Has Mana's kotodama power gone out of control? Even in the last few days, while her snow had become more visible and cold, it was still clearly just an illusion. The evanescence of it even made it seem beautiful to me. But this is something else. The kotodama that Nozomi put on Mana must have spread to act on me, and multiplied in power. No, there's no time to think about that. Mana, are you there? Where are you, Mana? I look around calling her name, but I can't see her anywhere. This is bad. I never expected anything like this to happen. A deep foreboding begins to spread in my heart. Mana! I begin to run in the direction I last saw her, towards the main building. Squinting against the freezing gale, I pray fervently that Mana is safe. Wow. What a turn of events. What a turn of events. You know, it would have been cool if she, undid her fucking kotodamas before she said any of those other ones to us. That would have, worked totally in her favor, maybe. I don't even know if she actually can release her kotodamas. If she can't even speak one to put onto us, how can she speak another to remove the previous ones? Because that's how they get removed. It's with another kotodama. I don't know. Alrighty, well, we'll figure it all out in the next episode, I assume. Or at least try to. Thank you all for watching this freezing episode. And hey, Hoturu showed up. It's always great when she does. But yeah, thank you all for coming by and watching this one. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy shit, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.